This is a podcast, so I'm gonna do a podcast and talk about some stuff. What I'm gonna talk about is channeling. If you're not like this super guru spiritual, I was born like this. I come from a long generation of spiritual people. I'm from the islands. If you don't got no magical powers, however, you feel like maybe I want to channel, it'd be interesting to channel, but I'm from like a small town. Everybody in my motherfucking town drink 40 ounces. Do I have the capabilities to channel? The answer would be yes. I promise that if you watch this video, take notes, understand, overstand, and understand what I'm saying, you will be on your path to channeling. If it makes sense, it makes sense. So if you're watching this video, at the end of this video, and you watch it from beginning to the end, and it makes sense, then you know what you need to do. So that's what I'm gonna do. Instead of just, talking about random ass bullshit or what's going on in the news or that type of shit, I want to bring you a different type of experience in reference to spirituality, because everybody haven't had the same spiritual experience. Like, everybody haven't watched the Bobby Hemmett lectures. Everybody haven't joined the secret societies. Everybody not a Christian. Everybody not a Muslim. Everybody is like different. However, we bring our biases and our distortions into the facts of spirituality where these things don't apply. So I just hope to get into some real shit with y'all and have a podcast like episode where I go point for point for point for point. And once the points are done, that will be the conclusion of part 1. Next week, we will conclude the series of channeling. It'll be channeling 102. This is channeling 101. So I want people to look at this as like a spiritual skill that you don't have to be an ordained minister to channel, right? However, I want you to look at it as if I don't know the proper skill to attain the level of channeling, then I ain't on shit. So let's get into it. Let's just start off with who I am and what I'm here for. I have a book that's available on Amazon. It's available on my own website, ColumbianExchange.com. That book is called Chakra Nova. It's like the gods and the goddesses and the angels and the archangels and all of the people that helped me write this book say, you gonna have to talk about this book every time you get on the goddamn YouTube. You gotta let them know you the hood mystic, but that's cool, but excuse me, your name Kyrie, right? You an author, you wrote a dynamic book, and people need to tap into it. So available on all places where you can get books at, except like bookstores. Y'all still get books from bookstores? I may need to think of that. Anyways, if you got an internet connection and you got a credit card, you can get Chakra Nova sent directly to your doorstep by visiting ColumbianExchange.com. Please support yourself, right? And purchasing this book, because you are the book. This will be the last book you'll ever need to read, because it's a book about chakras. Now, people will be like, well, what you need to get your third eye activated? Ain't even got the root chakra activated, don't know nothing about nothing, but they feel like if they drink some sort of tonic or some form of elixir, they're going to activate their third eye. Let's get into the real nitty gritty of what chakras are about, how you access them, what do they mean, what are their importance. Oh, and by the way, actual exercises to get you grounded and activated. Man, you can go on my website and read the reviews. You can go on Amazon and read the reviews, or you can DM me and ask me more thought-provoking questions in reference to chakras, in reference to Chakra Nova, because the reality is you need to get this book in your library. It's a must-have book. So if you don't have it in your library, you on bullshit, and it's really to the point where me and you can't even be friends no more. I'm lying, we gonna be friends forever. I don't care if you don't buy my book. I really don't give a shit. Like I said, the archangels, motherfucking art, not the angels, nigga. The archangels, like, nigga, you ain't about to not promote this damn book. You going, nigga, it feel good. It feels so good to just be like, I ain't gotta do nothing but promote my damn book for the rest of my life, nigga. You see me 50 years from now, like, when I was a young jit, I wrote you wrote Chakra Nova? I sure did when I was young, but I didn't write it. The archangels wrote it, you know what I'm saying? In reference to the archangels, man, we talking about guides, man. We talking about accessing spiritual guides, because without a spiritual guide, you got your regular dreams, ambitions, and shit. I just want my relationship with my baby daddy to work out. That nigga done blocked you on all social media, done blocked you on the iPhone. You don't know where he at. But then that's gonna be the reason for which you gonna cancel your ability to your channeling subscription. Ooh, channeling subscription, that actually gotta kind of go together like it's a streaming service, right? And you can get all of, like, you know what I'm saying, Netflix, but for motherfucking archangels. Like, let me get a little bit of Gabriel today or shit. Y'all be watching goddamn Veep or some weird shit like that. Motherfucking HBO Max or some weird shit like that. Boy, you better tune in to a different channel. Get the subscription, okay? So yeah, we're gonna be talking about tapping in, right? But let's just go point for point, like I said. I'm referencing, I got this good ass book. I was in this town, and when I'm in towns, my thing is I will go to the Botanica in that town. I don't give a fuck if you got a Botanica in your town, and I'm gonna spend some goddamn money. So I went into this like cute ass Botanica, man. It was motherfucking, she had books and DVDs and crystals and shit. I said, girl, you don't even know who I am. I'm about to, you know, I'm all unassuming shit. She don't know shit from shit. I'm just looking like this big nigga in the fucking store, like, what the fuck you doing in this damn Botanica? Like, you trying to rob me or something? Like, she was a little weirded out. But I ended up like dropping some change in that motherfucker. But I got this book called Opening the Channel. And boy, I've been reading that motherfucking book, man, every night. And it get me where I need to be. It's $12.95. And Spirit be laughing at y'all niggas, because y'all be like, well, this book ain't expensive. I don't need it. This book ain't fucking, it must not be worth shit because it ain't cost $100,000. Nigga, this book costs $12.95. If you read it and take notes. The interesting thing about the book opening to channel, and I got the link somewhere, I'll share it if you're interested. DM me, Gmail. That book that you was talking, I better not do that. I'm gonna put that link in. Hold on, I could do that shit right now. Give me a second. Cause don't y'all email me, cause niggas will email me about that shit now, wouldn't they? Won't email me about my book or nothing. Like, never mind. I'm too petty for this shit. That's my problem. I need to learn how to not be so petty with life. Let things go. I'm working on myself, believe it or not. Let's pin that. Y'all need to get this book. The link is in the chat. It's pinned to the chat. It's Opening to Channel. It's a fucking dynamite ass book, because it's like an author, but then she's like channeling these energies, and these energies is just laying the shit the fuck out how to fucking channel. So I'm not specifically pulling all of this conversation from this book, but I'm definitely pulling this opening framework, no pun intended, so we could begin to have a real conversation on how to channel. Because the nigga be like, well, I paid for this class to channel, or I got this reader to be a medium. And I'm telling y'all, it do not work like that. You cannot Spirit said you can't buy shit. And if you think you bought some shit in a spiritual realm, you fucking, it don't work like that. What was niggas doing before they had online classes? Chat, help me out, cause I don't be wanting to sound crazy. I don't want to sound disrespectful. But what was motherfuckers going to do before you put your website together with your fucking services and your fucking scheduler? What the fuck was niggas going to do if niggas didn't have the internet? What was we going to do? We were just going to sit here and shrivel up and die? Or we was going to go within ourselves and deal with our guides and deal with our souls? That's the real internet, y'all. That's the real internet. That's the real fucking World Wide Web, nigga. Your fucking DNA. But nobody's going to tell you this. They going to tell you, they not going to tell you shit, man. I'm telling you the world is weird, bro. Listen, ones in the chat, if y'all remember when they was quote unquote forcing motherfuckers to get such and such, and then ones in the chat if they ain't talking about that shit no more. Ones in the chat if they ain't forcing you to get the whatchamacallit. Ones in the chat if they ain't pressuring you when you go fill out an application wondering if you got a maximation. They don't give a fuck about it. But do y'all remember when they was giving a fuck about it like that was the only thing in the world? Now they just don't give a fuck about it. How the fuck do that work, man? This world is crazy, and there's only one thing that's going to save you: your spiritual guides. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Do y'all remember that shit? Do y'all remember the pressure niggas was putting you under in reference to some shit that you ain't want to do, and you felt like you ain't have no choice and the world was gonna fucking end? And if you didn't imagine if you didn't even give a fuck about that shit from the beginning to the end, and you a nigga like me, like, god damn it, they ain't even talking about that shit no more. A lot of motherfuckers folded. A lot of motherfuckers just said, you know what it is? I'ma take the take. I'ma do the do. Dog, your job don't give a fuck about that shit no more, dog. It's back to normal and shit, bro. That was that's some crazy ass shit. To know that everything is a fucking choice and can't nobody force you to do a goddamn thing. And if you afraid and you fearful and you that fearful that you willing to do some shit like that, and you ain't even gonna be conscious of these motherfuckers don't even give a fuck. Not no job. No job ain't gonna give a fuck about nothing. You would goddamn not show up to that motherfucker, and McDonald's is still gonna be McDonald's. Dollar Tree is still gonna be Dollar Tree. Never once in a million years that I think, you know what? Maybe I should be, nigga, I will sell my ass on the internet. I will slide up and down a stripper pole before I have to be feeling like these niggas got something to say to me in reference of some choices that I need to make. But being tapped in, it's like niggas automatically knew that shit. Like me and my family, I ain't give nobody no advice, nothing. That whole entire shit, and it ain't over. But just know, like, dog, it's a choice. And I told people, leverage your family, leverage your network. Because if you don't got that, then say for instance you got a network, you got friends, you got family, then how the fuck a job is gonna put the pressure on you? Motherfuckers, you should have niggas in your corner to be like, you don't gotta work. Not to the point where like you lazy or no shit like that, but this is the situation. This is what they making me do. I don't want to do it. All right, you don't gotta do it. But conscious heroes, gurus, and spiritualists, shit that you think that you can buy, is not getting you to the point where you getting real solutions. So I really want y'all to have real solutions in y'all life moving forward. I want y'all to know without the fact of y'all even knowing. And then when they try to pull some bullshit in the future, you consult your guides, you consult your souls, and it's going to be an affirmative. Hell fucking no, we ain't doing that shit. What the fuck they think they pulling? And always remember that everything is a choice. Nobody ever forced you to do a motherfucking thing. Your ass could have got out here and fucking started twerking on your fucking handstand and niggas started throwing dollars at your motherfucking ass. You ain't have to be starving, nigga. Hey, shit, what the, hey. Ain't nobody about to be starving out here. So, hey, if you want to starve, you ain't going to eat. So let's just get into this. Your guide will translate your personal wisdom into a more general framework. He or she will show you the universal lessons you are learning through your experiences and help you to view your own life in a higher, more spiritual way. Your life in a higher, more spiritual way. You can't buy this, ladies and gentlemen. You're not going to be able to buy viewing your own life in a higher, more spiritual way. You actually going to have to do the shit to raise your vibration. You actually going to have to do the shit. You can't sidestep it. You don't know a dude that know a dude. You can't find a spiritual booster. The nigga who got the shit for the low, it don't happen. Motherfuckers like, I'm so happy I found your channel. Why the fuck you happy you found my channel? Now you gotta fucking do work. Now I put these other niggas said it's magical alakazam. All you gotta do is show up, motherfuckers. I'm talking about doing spiritual work tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It's gonna take a lot of effort to do spiritual work, because the effort to do bullshit is at an all-time high, nigga. When I say it's at an all-time high, you have no idea. Woo! I wish I could tell y'all stories. I got stories for days. But people be watching my videos and they be like, why you put me out there? Anyways, your guide may use these universal truths for others also. So once you begin, like, listen, I'm like, man, I can show y'all some shit. My name is Kyrie Anthony, right? I was watching a goddamn ESPN and I was watching, they was talking about Kyrie Irving, and that shit sound like my name like a motherfucker. Like, I can close my eyes and listen to ESPN and they be like, you know, Kyrie, this nigga is the coldest. Like, I've never seen no nigga dribble the basketball like that before. Like, he is an enigma unto himself. Like, he is by far the most skilled person. He is an artist. He not even a basketball player. Like, Kyrie is the fucking man. And then I started to think like LeBron James. How many times LeBron James just was like, Kyrie, pass me the ball. Kyrie. And it's like weird shit, bro. Cause I'm from Akron. So it's always been like weird Clone Wars and shit. Anyways, back to the topic. He played with a nigga named Kyrie and then he played with a nigga named Anthony. And I'm just like, I can't get over that. That's my first and last name. That's my first and last name. And he played for the Lakers. Kobe Bryant was born on August 23rd. That's my fucking birthday, man. This shit be weird to me, man. This should be weird to me, man. My name Kyrie Anthony, dog. Like, my name could be fucking Michael or fucking Brian or fucking Gerald fucking Jenkins or some shit. That's how I be thinking about shit. Why is my name Kyrie Anthony and shit? Like, and why, like, I be just thinking, like, why the fuck? But it's like, everything is connected. And the more that you sit back and relax and understand these different types of connections that's happening in your life and how you relate it to this goddamn matrix and how this matrix is literally playing off of your energy, off of the fact of how you view your own fucking life. Dog, I swear to God, like, I put this on everything. Everything that I stand for, I put this on everything. If you start to view yourself in truth, the world starts to view yourself in truth. They don't have no fucking choice. Meaning that I be talking to women like they goddesses and shit, because they literally be goddesses, but then they be processing their life as like they some hood rat ass thought ass bitch or some shit like that. Like, oh yeah, I do be giving up the pussy way too easy. Like, I like a guy and he just do the same old game and I just give him some pussy. Like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I just keep giving him the pussy, Am I a hoe? Am I a slut? I don't want to be. And it's like, listen, View your own life in a higher, more spiritual way. Ones, can I get some ones? If we gonna start viewing our own life in a higher, more spiritual way. Ones, if we not gonna put that energy on no fucking else, nobody else. Don't tell me because you got a kid now, oh, my kid is so tapped in. I don't give a fuck about that nigga. I don't care. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. Your own life. And this is the problem, okay? This is a real big problem. One, if you're ready to view your own life in a higher, more spiritual way, and you ain't gonna give that shit to nobody. Man, I met this girl. Listen, nigga, I don't give a fuck. I don't care who you met. I don't care who you're going to meet. This conversation is to help you view your own fucking life in a higher, more spiritual way. End the fucking story. I don't care whose CD you heard, whose lecture you was listening to, nigga. This is about you and how you look at yourself. Cause for real, that's the problem. Guides encourage you, and this is the really important point, cause to fathom your soul, niggas, to fathom your Atlantean ass soul, your extraterrestrial ass soul, nigga, y'all be walking around this bitch like pimps, okay? And not in a derogatory sense. I'm talking about the teddy bear version with the goldfish in your fucking platforms, like in a fucking yellow ass suit, just like, what you doing? Nigga, I'm a fucking soul having a fucking human experience out this bitch. I can fucking fly on an airplane to fucking Hawaii right now if I had the money, but y'all ain't donated nothing to my goddamn Cash App. How the fuck that work? How that work? Now, I was gonna say something. I'm gonna say it anyway. Y'all don't get, never mind, I ain't gonna say it, fuck it. Guides encourage you to connect with your own soul's wisdom. See, that's the end of the deal. See, if niggas can fathom that, wrap their arms around that, all of the shit that you trying to do in life, all of your accomplishments, all of your cognitive distortions, which we'll be talking about a little later in the conversation, will be wiped away, because in fact you are a soul, and in fact you need kind of like some help to get you to that point. And this is the point of dealing with guides and channeling certain different types of information, because if I'm channeling, man, I got real life channels with John Dodge, nigga. John ass Dodge from the motherfucking, like, I don't even know this nigga, man. I don't know John Dodge, like, but that nigga was fucking with me. And all I'm saying is, you will have different weird ass channels, and you'll be like, well, what the fuck was that for? What the fuck was that for? Why you want me to twerk with my left butt cheek? All of that, and it all will equate to you connecting with your own fucking soul. Okay, so what's the point of the conversation? If you might ask, what are you talking about? You need to connect with your soul. Okay, video over. No, connecting with your soul is hard as fuck. You need a whole fucking spiritual guide. Y'all ever watch a fucking movie before? When a hero go on this quest, do he just do this shit by himself, or do he get a motherfucking guide? One's if the motherfucker get a guide to help him through this shit. Somebody come through, a motherfucking Alfred, a motherfucking Bentley, a motherfucking Robin, motherfucking somebody is helping that nigga accomplish his goals. One's in the chat if that's true. Two's in the chat if the nigga's doing it by himself. Even a nigga from Taken, Liam Neeson, he on the phone talking to a motherfucker like, hey, what's happening? Hey, it's 3 niggas in there. You gonna need goddamn a rope, a knife, and a gun. Cause the one nigga, he's sitting in the couch in the back. All right, good looking. One's if you need some help. It ain't gonna be, oh, all I gotta do is connect with my soul. So shit, easy smeezy. No, fam, this is motherfucking magnum opus, nigga. The great work, nigga. What the fuck is fucking securing the Philosopher's Stone, nigga? You might not make it back, nigga. You might not make it back. It's gonna be the hardest shit in your fucking life to connect to your own soul's wisdom. However, it can be done. And this is what we're going to be talking about in this goddamn podcast. You feel me? I'm pumped. To trigger your voice, we normally use your thoughts. When you are channeling, we are the undercurrent beneath your thoughts, the part that selects which thoughts to trigger, then causes your mind to speak of certain things in a particular way. We light up certain areas of your mind, and we also trigger your own soul's knowledge. So this is a basis. Hopefully y'all get the book. The book is pinned in the chat. Opening to channel. One of the dopest books I read in a long time. It's only $12.95. So you motherfucking clout chasing ass, spiritual ass niggas, it's not for you. It's not. I should have just bought it and told niggas it was $1,000. That's what I should have did. Not that I can get a free PDF online or nothing like that. Anyways, the art and skill of accurately perceiving your guides comes from the ability to comfortably tune in and listen to the subtleties and accept them as important communications. We talking about art and skill. So as easy as you feel like, well, I'm a goddess. As easy as you feel, yo, crazy ass, your voices be having you on bullshit, but then want to act like you intuitive. Why? This is the question that I have. You so intuitive, but not intuitive to get a good ass nigga in your life. You got that scrub ass nigga in your life, but you intuitive and you doing readings. We talking about art and skill of accurately perceiving your guides. See, the reality is, when I deal with people's guides, trust me, I don't be intentionally dealing with people's guides, but doing readings, them niggas came to me. Every day if I wanted them to, every week if I wanted to, multiple times a week. Listen, I was tired of y'all motherfucking guides coming in my energy space. Hey, kiss my ass. Once I realized what was happening, I'd realized what was happening a long time ago. I welcomed it. It was part of my initiation and shit. But at a certain point, we all got limits, my guy. And some of y'all guides be trying to work with y'all and be trying to deal with y'all, but y'all act like y'all living in a fucking vacuum. Y'all act like y'all live on an island. No, this is Big Brother. This is Big Brother. I know everything you do. Subjectively, pejoratively. Everybody walking around you is your fucking soul or has the capability of being hijacked from the soul. So you talking to that nigga, he know everything about you. Cause that person ain't even actually a person. That's your soul playing tricks on you. Cause this is the fucking Matrix. Do y'all not understand that life is about consciousness? It's not about what you think and feel and emote. And even if it was the case, go ahead and try it. Tell yourself you're gonna feel good all day. Tell yourself that. I'ma just feel good. I'ma just no negative vibes. No negative vibes. Then your ass in therapy. So what I'm talking about, to be clear, the art and skill of accurately perceiving your guides is not being your crazy fucking ass. Okay? Period, point blank. Because black people we will be crazy, and we will have cognitive distortions, and we will be egotistic, we will be arrogant, and we will get our fucking ass kicked. And then want people to feel sorry for you. But then when we talking about real spiritual shit, and I swear to God that these spiritual niggas, they get a rush for being on the fucking screen. And if they ever have some good shit to tell you, I'll be a millionaire by the time I wake up in the morning. If these spiritual niggas had anything good to tell you, I will wake up a fucking millionaire. It'll just wake up and it just happen. It'll just be $1 million in my fucking bank account. And hey, that's a challenge. That's a challenge to these spiritual niggas. If they had one thing to tell you besides getting the rush of being on fucking screen and being a fucking rock star or some shit, As opposed to, man, it ain't shit that a nigga can tell you if you ain't trying to deal with your own viewpoint of your own fucking life and deal with your own fucking guides that's trying to talk to you all the fucking time that you trying to buy. It makes no fucking sense. You trying to get it online. If this shit was, if you didn't have no internet, no computer, no phone, your fucking guides would still be talking to you probably louder. Just think about an old nigga in the old timey 1910s on the fucking horse in a fucking town in the middle of West Bumfuck at a fucking saloon. How the fuck he know to go there? And just to know what to, like, how did people travel and get around before GPS? Y'all remember, like, we didn't, like, it was maps, but we wasn't using them bitches. We would just figure some shit out. So it's a subtle world that actually, when you look at your phone, you look at your laptop, and you look at your electronic device, it's a literal tool. It's a literal tool to distract you from perceiving the subtleties of the spiritual world that have been existed for millions and millions of years that we don't even fucking like no more. Y'all kids don't even want to fucking go outside, nigga. Your kids don't even want to go outside. Ain't nothing that you can tell your kids to just go out. Your kids want to go outside and be like, what the fuck we doing out here? What the fuck you want me to do? Can I bring my phone? Can I bring my fucking PlayStation outside? Can I bring my laptop outside? So your kids is not listening to the subtleties of nature. They listening to the fucking inundation of Corey Kenshin ass. What you talking about? That's an attack. That's an attack. And you a dumbass. Cause it is parents with their kids outside in nature learning this shit. And when these motherfuckers get adults, they're gonna be mollywopping your grown ass kid's ass, and you gonna be feeling sorry for your son, and you did that shit to him by getting him the latest technology. Fuck that shit. Man, I get it. You got kids, you want them to, you know what I'm saying? I get it. But please believe you better put them niggas outside. Please believe you better take them to the nature park. You the parent, not them. Meaning that you gotta lead and direct them in the ways for which that they can start to perceive some shit. And if you feel like, well, he just gonna be playing video games, that's him. That nigga ain't gonna be able to perceive shit when he get an adult. He gonna play more fucking video games. Sad, sad, sad. Let's go. Let's go. So if you don't know that you have a guide, you ain't gonna deal with your guide. One's in the chat. One's in the chat. If you don't know, you ain't gonna go. If you don't know that you have a guide, you ain't gonna deal with a guide. One in the chat. If you know that you got a fucking guide that you gotta fucking deal with, and ain't that a fucking sigh of a relief? One in the chat that you got somebody to guide your dumb ass that you haven't tuned in and tapped into. The guy, and as long as you realize this, as long as you are able to perceive this and expand and open your mind to this fact and become more comfortable with it, the easier your life is going to be, because you have a guide, you have a partner. One's in the chat. You are not alone, looking ass boy, looking ass girl. I am here with you. Oh, left leg longer than your right leg, looking ass girl. But you know how to fucking throw baby hair on your lace front so niggas don't ever notice that? I am here with you. You are not alone. Your guide will deepen the connection as he or she becomes aware of your ability to what? Handle his or her energy. You can't handle the truth, man. The shit that you know and the shit that you experience, your anecdotal reality, do not fucking matter. The more if you become humble to your fucking guide, to be like, look, I'm ready. She ready. Ones in the chat if you ready. I'm ready. But if you ain't ready, don't put no damn ones in the chat. Do not put ones in the chat if you ain't ready to fucking get fucking led in this bitch. Cause a lot of y'all know every fucking thing there is to know about everything and don't want to ask nobody for no fucking help, no assistance and shit. You just want to walk around here with goddamn baby hair and fucking curly cues on top of your fucking lace front. That's all you want to fucking do. But I digress. Let me tell you the illest story in reference to consciousness. Consciousness is the most powerful shit in the world. Cause think about consciousness, right? Consciousness is like shit. Like you thinking, you can have emotions and feelings and joy and laughter, and it's not connecting to your physicality. I don't think my wife was in a pissy mood, but generally we was just doing some family shit. And we bust a left out of the gas station, and at the right, it was a mom and a daughter at the bus stop. And the mom was in a wheelchair. She ain't have no legs, and she was talking to her daughter standing over her. But the mom was like smiling and happy and just like waiting for the bus. You know what I'm saying? And my wife might have been on some bullshit because like whatever, not like in a negative way, but I knew for a fact that I just was like, well, I referenced that like shit, and I don't know what she go through. And I'm not picking on my wife, but what I am saying is consciousness is that happiness and that joy to say, even if I don't got no legs, I can still be happy. That's one example. The second example of consciousness is I used to work at this hotel. And I used to be a busboy, a valet, a concierge, because I was getting them fucking tips. Niggas thought I was like shit. I be coming out that bitch sometimes $400-$500 on a Good Friday, bussing shit, just taking shit up to people's rooms, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I was getting to it. However, it was this one lady who checked in from Thursday. She checked in every Thursday. She checked out every Sunday on some boss shit. She drove a BMW something, right? But she couldn't walk really. Like she could walk, but she looked like she had like cerebral palsy or something. And like she had like these like things that she walk on, like almost like stilts or whatever. And she had this dog with her. It'd be her and her dog and her stilts. And she couldn't walk. But when I say she was a boss, she was a boss. Like you couldn't even imagine how fucking powerful she was, right? But she couldn't walk. She couldn't move or maneuver or even verbalize her words as clearly as I could. That's consciousness. Some of y'all bitches, some of y'all girls, your girlfriends be looking amazing, right? But then we'll have the cognitive distortion that's not in reference to her expectancy, in reference to her goddess energy. So if she knew how much of a goddess she was, she wouldn't feel bad because she will only expect the best out of life. Because it's people who wake up and know and expect the best out of life and get what they expect out of life, because this is consciousness. It don't matter if I don't got no legs, I'ma still be a boss. It don't matter if I can't walk, or if I got cerebral palsy, even if I'm autistic, if I'm on a spectrum, I'm blind, I'm deaf, whatever the case may be. Consciousness actually don't give a fuck on whatever your circumstances is. If you came down here to do something, consciousness say, we came down here to do something. I got cerebral palsy. So what, bitch? We about to get this BMW 740i. You with it? I can get it with cerebral palsy. Do you got a 850 credit score? How much you make a year? 150K? Let's go down there. Do you want to put the dog on the leash? You know what I'm saying? Here go the keys, right? So what you may think is holding you back actually ain't holding you back. Probably nothing holding you back. Probably what's holding you back is that you don't expect this shit to happen. Consciousness is expectancy at the deepest level. Why do people think? Why do you calculate the thickness of walls of a boiler and do not let chance determine it? Can a calculated boiler never explode? Of course it can. We think about actions before we perform them. We make representations of them, but why? We expect and act according to the expectancy. Expectancy is a preparatory action. So if you outstretch your arms like a ball player, then you expecting to catch a ball. Some of y'all be having your mouth wide open and be surprised when you catch a ball. You catch my drift. Keep your mouth closed. So, this is how it goes down. If you don't know shit and you like got ego and arrogance, then you gotta act like you know shit. You gotta act like you got it together. You know, I'm a fucking machismo. I'm fucking macho man, Randy Savage out this bitch. I got it together. You know what I'm saying? Nigga be acting like that, got $10 in the bank and shit. Right? So, it's not about being arrogant. It's not about having a lot of ego, but it is about having a real view on oneself. When we say oneself, we're talking about one's perfect soul, your perception of your perfect soul and not your imperfect humanity. This is very important because it's very easy to look at your life and look at your whatever. Oh, I don't got no legs, mystic. You know, I ain't got no reason to be spiritual because I ain't got no legs. I'm sorry, I done seen it. Because when you attune with a positive view of yourself, you ain't going to need nothing for which you just be like, well, where are we going today? Yo, guys, like, we going here, we doing this. You listen to this, we going here, we going there, we doing this. You don't got to manifest. You don't got to wish. You don't got to hope. Everything is a part of the fucking journey. So if you have a negative viewpoint of yourself, a part of the journey, you'll be like, I'm married, but I'm going to get divorced. I got money, but I'm gonna get broke. I got a house, but I'm gonna lose it. I got a car, but it's gonna break down. Whole time, the views on yourself, the views on the world, the views on the future, it become this ever repeating that cycle. And the problem is, we got spiritual shit to fucking exacerbate it, and shit just getting more and more negative if you really start to think about it. So this is why I bring to the discussion altered states of consciousness and how to bring those about. Now y'all know how I give it up. Y'all know how I get down. A lot of what I do, I'm not even about to say it. You know what I'm saying? Cause I ain't about to say shit. I ain't about to talk about nothing, right? Cause it's a lot of shit. Like when you a root worker and you a healer and you a shaman, it's enough people that see me and deal with me just off of GP that it ain't about promotion. But what I am saying is you got to get into a space in your life where you set the time and the priority to raise about altered states of consciousness, because everything is related to your consciousness and your expectations of life. But this is a real serious thing. If you at a root level, you've been expecting people to ignore you and hurt you and treat you bad, right? This is how you expect it. Right, at a conscious level, but you got 10 fucking fingers, 10 beautiful, sexy ass toes that I might suck on a little later. You feel me? Right? But you still have the state of consciousness to feel like something bad is going to happen. And so many people struggle with depression, and trust me, it's running rampant. So we need to bring about a trance. We need to bring about an altered state of consciousness, right? Which is just a short-term change and the general configuration of one's individual experience. Because the reality of you as a human is all you experience. You never get to feel what it's like to tap into your soul experience. You probably never had the skills, the art, or never knew you could. Or you probably thought that you could buy it. But we're talking about how you view your own personal life from a higher perspective. As a spiritual being, as much as we saying this, you're going to have to start to feel this shit, y'all. One's if you're going to have to start feeling yourself as a soul, and that's really the goal. You're going to have to start feeling yourself as a consciousness, because you can't say, well, I got my leg cut off, so that's the reason that I'm sad. Your consciousness ain't even going to let you feel that way. Your consciousness is going to say, yeah, our leg cut off. Yeah, we got a fucking goddamn, you got them damn crutches. All right, we still going regularly scheduled program. You a fucking biochemical engineer with one fucking leg. Let's go, motherfucker. The one-legged biochemical engineer is coming down the fucking aisle. We don't give a fuck. Nothing about your life matters to your consciousness or to your soul. But if you are that fucking powerful to block your fucking guide's progression, shame on your ass. Shame on your ass to say, well, I feel bad. But then won't take the steps to change at the deeper level, to expect at the deeper level. That's why you're here tonight. That's why you're here tonight. So you can begin to start to expect things differently, and game over. We playing a whole different game. Such that rational functioning is clearly altered from one's usual state of consciousness. And man, I've taken a lot of trips, like literal trips, but I've also taken a lot of psychedelic trips. Meaning that I've seen many different forms of this consciousness and this world and this matrix and the ways that it's played out. And with that being said, that's why I'm here tonight. So we can have a conversation for people who may just be like, I'm just like thinking this one way, this one way, this one way, this one way. And I'm just trying to be this one person, this one person, this one person. And in the space of this one person, you listen to these niggas talk shit, talk this about this, talk that about that. And that shit driving you crazy because you like, what the fuck is he talking about? What did this shit have to do? And niggas like, yo, energy. And a bitch like, you a nines of diamonds type of person. And you that mean that your fucking left arm, you can probably knock a nigga out, can't you? And it's just like all of this shit. Oh, you need a spiritual cleansing and just all of this shit. And the whole time, you supposed to just not deal with none of that shit. You're supposed to live your fucking life, right? The whole time you was just supposed to live your life. The whole time you was supposed to follow your guide. If it leads you to a certain place, cool. But understand you was being led. Understand that you was being guided. And maybe you want to peek under the blinds. Maybe you want to open up the veil. This is what the process of is altering your state of consciousness so you can see the inner workings or the higher workings of spirit that our conscious mind is just so minuscule. Shit, all we could do is perceive it and see what's going on. We don't know what the fuck happening, but I'll explain. Conscious awareness is closely associated with the cerebral cortex, an intricately folded and connected sheet of nervous tissue. Each experience corresponds to a specific set of neural activities. So basically, in our brain, so they say, and this is the interesting thing about neurology, is that the first thing that they say is that we don't know shit, right? This is the first thing that they say, right? I should have screenshot it. As much as we've studied the brain with neural imaging, we've come to the conclusion that we've actually don't know a damn thing, and we will keep striving to not know a damn thing, and we will never know a damn thing. And they got a whole science. They would do a whole surgery or some shit, and like they got a basic rudimentary understanding. Like, if we deal with this part of the brain, it deals with like the sight, and this part with the hearing, but they don't know what the fuck happening. You would never know. Like, so this is consciousness. It's called qualia. Qualia is a mysterious, energetic origin of consciousness. And the reality would be, if you was to tap into your own mystery, your own qualia, and that would be the goal. You have a mystery. You have something to seek out within your life that no neuroscientist, no biologist, no chemist is going to be able to deal with your personal DNA and these different types of models and all of these different types of tests and these fucking lab coats and all of these fucking words. They can tell you out of their own fucking Britannica and out of their own mouse, hey, we wouldn't actually know what's going on in your brain, though. Like, this is kind of like, we're speculating some shit, but, you know, if within your brain you got the mitochondria Eve DNA and the double X chromosome, you could probably wish for me to fucking evaporate and I will fucking just go into the abyss for the rest of my life. So why would I tell you, black woman, how powerful you are at a neuronic level? One's if I'm more powerful than you at a DNA level. That's why I'm not going to tell you. Going to tell you all about the brain and all about this, and you're going to be mesmerized by their wisdom, but no. We talking about consciousness. We talking about magic and witchcraft, and that's what they be doing. Words, spells. You got to spell a word before they give you any neuroscience, neurons, they spelling words. Conscious awareness, you had to spell that word. But conscious awareness is a word and it's a spell. It's a spell. The actual conscious awareness is something that I have within myself. My conscious awareness and what I choose to direct that on, it don't have nothing to do with a word that's being spelled on a piece of paper. However, if I was trying to explain to you the fucking intricate ways of your source and your spirit, I'm trying to use words, and I'm trying to use words that's being spelled, and it might miss its mark, the reality of it. Because you will have to sit back and think on the fact that you actually thinking, and the fact that you can think about the fact that you thinking. And if you can think about that you thinking, then that's the very fact that you are God. Because that part of you can never be researched in no lab coat. That part of you could change the reality in reference to who you are and who you be. You don't know nothing about life. You don't know why shit is the way that it is. If you actually thought about it, your consciousness can decide, all right, we about to turn this motherfucker into a millionaire. All right, we about to motherfucking just turn this motherfucker to a homeless bum on the fucking side of the corner. Well, he was in a mansion a couple weeks ago. Yeah, we about to fuck with this nigga, throw him on a fucking test. You think they go and study that shit in a Harvard lab, nigga? Your soul? You think they gonna study your soul in a lab and then tell you, oh yes, the soul is like this? And that's a fucking mind game, fam. If you serious about spirituality, you become to be spiritual and serious about yourself. Is what I'm trying to say. Because it's too complicated. So you have consciousness, but then you got to start looking at it as like subconsciousness, learning how to be present and perceive the subtleties of the energies. And if there is no subtleties, then you stay in a space until things start to happen and you observe the things that are happening. See, if you got a lot of shit to do, you ain't going to be observing shit. So you're not going to be able to tune into your subconscious mind. So there's really no point in watching this video if you got a lot of shit to do. Because the conscious mind, being in control of the subconscious mind, is what's got you so fucked up. You thinking and you immerse in your thinking, but it's a larger part of you that could observe your thinking. That's your subconscious mind. This is subconsciousness. To observe the fact that a person that could think a whole bunch of bullshit. Maybe I should bust out his windows. The reason why you wouldn't bust out his windows without somebody telling you not to bust out your windows if you observe yourself thinking that crazy shit. But if you don't observe yourself thinking it, you will bust out his windows and then you will be catching a little fucking burglary charge or some shit, going back and forth to court like, I shouldn't have done that. Subconsciousness would have made you stop and do it before it even happened. An example of this would be, I blocked a nigga for some shit and I knew I blocked him just on some GP shit. Like, I don't want to deal with this nigga no more. I'ma block him. But you know how a nigga do, he'll call you from his wife phone or some shit. Like, he called me from his wife phone and he started talking to me like a good game and shit. I'm like, oh man, you blocked. Let me unblock you. You a cool nigga. I be tripping, whatever the case may be. Long story short, I should have kept his ass blocked, for which I knew, and that was the crazy part. And I'm like, see, I don't need to be, I'm 37 years old. I don't need to be learning these fucking lessons. You don't need to be learning these lessons. If your soul tell you to block a nigga, trust me, block him. It's going, you don't want to know why your soul is telling you to block him. You don't want to figure that point out. Because once you figure out why your soul telling you to block him and you didn't block him, man, you gonna regret that shit. Cause you conscious as a motherfucker. You psychic as a motherfucker. Everybody is. It's how deep are you comfortable with your guide? How comfortable are you without feeling crazy? Cause sometimes it's illogical to block a nigga before they do some bullshit. One, it's irrational to cut a motherfuckers off. It's non-analytical to say, hey man, the shit that you on ain't making sense. And I know you got a lot of subscribers and followers, but I'm off the fucking boat. That don't make sense. But for me, it's right. So you do the right thing, whether it's illogical, irrational, don't make no fucking sense. And from there, you able to start, I'm just loosing you up, loosey-goosing you up to start to actually begin to channel. Because if you a thinking man or a thinking woman, you ain't gonna be channeling shit. All you gonna be doing is thinking and imagining yourself to be channeling some shit. And that's all motherfuckers do. They mistake they thinking and they thoughts for channeling, and that's not channeling. That's just thinking and speaking. And that's what these niggas do. No value in that. Okay? User illusion. So if you got a telephone, if you got Windows 98 or some shit like that, you will understand what a user illusion is. It's according to this picture, our experience of the world is not immediate. So if I can press a button and something happened, then that means I know I know how to work the phone, right? But in the reality of shit, I don't know shit about this phone, right? I don't know how this world works for real. I push the button. If I push the button and the shit don't respond, then I'm fucked up. This is how consciousness works when you get a reading or you do some bullshit and some shit work out. You might think like, oh shit, I know what's going on. I took a class and da-da-da-da. But let's go through this all together. According to this picture, our experience of the world is not immediate, as all sensation requires a processing time. It follows that our conscious experience is less a perfect reflection of what is occurring and more of a simulation produced unconsciously by the brain. So in that gray area, if I can get you to think that you a black person that used to be a slave, then your expectations out of life will be as follows. However, if you listening to me and I can implant the fact that you are a soul, and in reference to the life that you actually can live is completely in relation to whatever the fuck you want. And the limits that you place on yourself is complete and utter bullshit. And it's a mind trap to keep you emotionally stagnant and kept in the human 3D realm. So life is a simulation and it's a gap. And in that gap, you input what the fuck you are. If you look at yourself from a low space, that's the world that you gonna create. And I don't give a fuck who you talk to about how fucked up your life is. You gotta start looking. I'm talking about grown ass conscious of fucking adults. In all types of circumstances and situations, you're not looking at yourself accurately. Therefore, there may be phenomena that exist beyond your peripheries, beyond what consciousness could create to isolate or reduce anything that may be a distraction, anything that may disrupt your path. Because the fear is a motherfucker, man. You not knowing what death is like and all that. It's a lot that goes on that make you be fearful on life. But once again, we live in an illusionary world. And since it is an illusion, they took your soul away from you. But it is an illusion. You do have a soul. So it's time to fucking kick it. It's time to enjoy this shit and have a fucking ball. So let's get back to trance. Let me go back to trance. Altered states of consciousness may be defined as a short-term change in the general configuration of one's individual experience, such that the rational function is clearly altered. So you do not want to be the same person you were before as you're in the middle of a seance or a ritual or something spiritual. You need to enact the trance-like state. Why? Let's look at the etymology. I ain't trying to look at the above state of extreme dread or suspense, because that's not the root of the Latin of the word. The Latin of the word is transire, right? Cross over, go over, pass over, hasten over, right? Trans, beyond, across, ire, to go beyond. So to trance out is to go to that other state of mind. I don't give a fuck what you done in life, what you ain't done in life. If you willing, if you trying to do some spiritual shit, you got to get this shit down pat. How much money do it cost to get into a trance-like state? One, if it don't cost shit. One, if it don't cost shit. One, if you got scammed into thinking that it was going to cost some shit to get you to a point where you can deal with your fucking soul. How the fuck you going to pay for a trance-like state? How you gonna pay for somebody? That shit don't even make sense. You gotta be conscious enough to understand who the fuck you are. First off, this is the real shit. Who are you? Fuck what a nigga got going on. Nigga got a fucking marketing plan on your ass. Nigga gonna post shit every day, act like they give a fuck about you. We talking about trance. We talking about crossing over, going over, coming back, going beyond, and not being stuck in this 3D place. But why would a person not? What, this is real interesting, right? And it sounds simple, But trust me, it's a big ass door in front of the way. It's a big ass door in front of the way in reference from you in your trance-like state, going beyond, dealing with your soul, and it's called cognitive distortion. Cognitive distortion. Cognitive distortion is an exaggerated or irrational thought pattern. Let me start over again. Cognitive distortion is an exaggerated or irrational thought pattern evolved in the onset or perpetuation of psychopathological states such as depression and anxiety. I was DMing this chick and she said she was from Detroit. She wanted to meet up. She said, I get nervous around YouTubers. I said, all right, you got it. You won't be hearing from my ass again. You nervous. I ain't fucking nervous. I don't give a fuck. I'm not matching energy with a nervous motherfucker. You nervous around me, you about to make me nervous. What the fuck I gotta be nervous for? Cause you nervous? I don't got the time in 2022. Maybe in 2021. 2022, you nervous? Keep your nervous ass over there. Cause I don't need that energy. People will give you they shit. Darren, you the realest nigga I know. You the realest nigga I know. Thank you for the donation. Selective abstraction. This is a cognitive distortion, y'all. And this is every nigga in the spiritual community. Tell him Hood Mystic said kiss his ass. Cause they ain't going to deal with this shit. It's not going to deal with cognitive distortion and exacerbating your cognitive distortions for fucking money. Tell these conscious niggas they can kiss my ass for lying to the people so they can fucking pay their fucking exorbitant ass fucking rent. Kiss my ass. Cause you don't want to deal with this. Y'all don't want to deal with cognitive distortions. Cause once you start to acknowledge your cognitive distortions, then what the fuck you need a spiritual person for? Let's go through each and every one of these and then transpose it on a spiritual nigga. Acting like they give a fuck about you, but you don't give a fuck about yourself, creating a need for a spiritual nigga. Selective abstraction. Drawing conclusions on the basis of just one of many elements of a situation. I'm a black goddess, so that's all that matters. So that means you can steal the $20 out my wallet, ma'am? Yes, I'm a black goddess. Selective abstraction. Personalization. I am the reason that the sun rose. I am the reason that you motherfuckers would be like, motherfuckers that see you online doing your thing, be like, he wasn't shit till I started watching his videos. He wasn't shit till I started watching his videos. I remember when I used to watch his videos and wasn't nobody watching his ass. Ain't nobody watching my ass now. What you responsible for? Stay away from a nigga who acting like they're responsible for some shit. And shit. Cognitive distortion. Magnification. I'm gonna explain. This got a lot to do with channeling, but how would you know the difference between you channeling a deity and you having cognitive distortion? One in the chat, if it's hard to tell the difference between the cognitive distortion and a deity. So wouldn't it make sense to know when you have cognitive distortions? What are cognitive distortions? Because we talking about our shit tonight. We ain't pointing no fingers, but what is a cognitive distortion? A cognitive distortion is an exaggerated or irrational thought pattern. If you ain't dealing with your exaggerated or your irrational thought patterns, one, if it's going to be confusing to understand a channel. A channel might come across as exaggerated or irrational, my nigga. You going to have to deal with your shit first to know the difference. Magnification, making a mountain out of a molehill. Blowing things out of proportion. And spiritual niggas don't know nothing. They know how to do that shit. Motherfuckers would be like, oh my God, I'm getting evicted. Motherfuckers be like, oh my God, I'm getting evicted again. Like, what the fuck? I thought you got evicted last year. I thought the world was over last year when you got evicted from your last place. It's a thing. It's okay. You'll be all right. You know how to handle it. Minimalization. Downplaying the importance of a positive thought or emotion or an event. Cause shit, you minimize working with people. I don't like them motherfuckers. I don't need to work with people. I can do this shit by my own. Cognitive distortion. Listen. If you got a girlfriend and she think it's cool to just treat you like a regular day or a regular ass nigga, and she want to minimize you for whatever reason, and she'll be saying some shit like, I have never met a good man before until I met you. That's why I treat you like shit. All of the dudes before you cheated on me, so I knew you was gonna cheat on me too. Cognitive distortion. How you gonna know you channeling? Downplaying the importance of a positive thought, emotion, or event. Listen, when you're in a relationship, when you're in a partnership, you working towards positive events, thoughts, and emotions, or else you on bullshit and you toxic. Arbitrary inference. Drawing conclusions when there is little or no evidence. Man, this is spirituality 101. When I read this shit, it made me want to run from every spiritual nigga I knew in my contacts. Niggas don't have no evidence for shit, but would be saying some shit like they know some shit. I almost died when I read this. Overgeneralization. Making sweeping conclusions based on a single event. I had a negative experience in my past. That means a negative experience is going to happen now. And then we want to talk about channeling. It ain't going to fucking work. If you think everything going to happen bad, you got to get to a motherfucking peaceful, cheery disposition first in reference to dealing with your fucking soul. And just to a point, I mean, a lot of y'all motherfuckers just need to know that everything going to be the fuck all right. Why fuck, like, this is shit. Just trust in that for a little bit. Y'all don't even believe that. That's some crazy shit to not believe. But a lot of y'all don't even believe that shit gonna be all right. Like, I'm a channeler. I'm divine. I'm a medium. Cap. So in these, I'm gonna do a little spirit emotional connection scientific slideshow type of deal in reference to electric magnetic radiation, right? The visible spectrum is very small in the whole grand scheme of things. We got broadcast waves, micro waves, infrared waves, heat energy, like ultraviolet waves, x-rays, gamma rays. Radiation is how energy spreads. If energy doesn't spread, such as air, oxygen, water, life don't flow like it's supposed to flow. We talking about in the next video, part 2, we're talking about cooperation and harmony with higher celestial energies. And when I say they don't give a fuck about your problems or trying to solve a personal issue, they trying to look at large issues, so they'll give you massive amounts of power to accomplish massive amounts of things, but you need to get over your fucking self. That's the thing. Like it's just like small minuscule things, molehills, and nigga make into a mountain. And this is all spiritual connections in life. whatever you thinking about is so important is nothing on the grand scheme of things, right? This is just another, just to show you like the visible world. Do you see the visible light? The visible light, right? You see this like this harmonic chakra-like color spectrum of visible light is very small with all of the energy in the world and all of the spirits, all of the ghosts, all of the archangels. They exist in the gamma rays. They exist in the theta waves, the radio waves. This is why music is so popular, because an angel can hijack a song. This is why a song with a specific message can be a hit, and you can have a song that sound way better, and ain't nobody ever heard of that shit, because in the radio waves, it's a whole different ball game. It's all different types of angels and demons and that shit. But we talking about our visible light, our human emotional spectrum, and what we must do to then begin to start channeling. So do y'all see this connection between the visible light of the electromagnetic radiation and then the emotional spectrum, from guilt, shame, apathy, grief, all the way to enlightenment, peace, and joy? See, you can't fake this shit. But the goal is to go beyond enlightenment, and generally how you feel in the realms of fear and wanting shit and being mad, and all of this shit is keeping you in a lower vibration. So if you're interested in channeling, you got to start to deal with your emotional ability to raise your frequency to other areas in the electromagnetic spectrum of life. Because in this small sliver, you might see your block and everybody in the hood, but at the same time, Michael and Uriel is fighting, and at the same time, goddamn Osiris and motherfucking Bastet is fucking at the radio wave level or some shit like that. You don't know what the fuck happening, but you just might be sitting on your damn porch like, man, there ain't shit happening. That's just visibly ain't shit happening. But if you look at the thing, if you could have an expanded viewpoint beyond enlightenment, then you would start to see a lot more shit. One, if this is making sense. Two, if like this specifically, how you emotionally feel is the actual tipping point to if you gonna actually deal with spirits or fucking not, based upon the electromagnetic spectrum. One, if that makes sense, because I can understand how that can lose people, but I'm talking about the same shit. How you feel is directly related to what you can perceive. And this is the real get down. This is what nobody gonna tell you. People gonna keep you in this space. And in this space, you can't see shit. And my goal is to get you to actually start to see shit outside of your cognitive distortion. See, look, man, if you got an exaggerated or irrational thought, that's going to keep you in the level of fear or desire or anger or pride, somewhere in there, man. And if you don't deal with that in reference to channeling specifically, you won't be able to understand nothing for which I'm talking about. Because where you at emotionally is trying to get back at a nigga, or trying to, you know, figure out why your boyfriend, like, man, I'm really talking to this nigga, this grown ass man. He a 40-year-old ass man. This nigga crying to me today, y'all. I'm thinking that this nigga going through some real shit. You know what his problem was? His girlfriend didn't call him for 2 days. And that's when he knew he had a problem. I'm like, yeah, you got a fucking problem. If like, cause he like, we got into a fight and an argument and she ain't called me and she blocked me and I'm really sitting here crying over it. I said, you can't be fucking serious. This 2022 shit is way too much of a fucking joke for me. Way too much of a fucking joke. Cause I just don't get it, right? I just don't understand. But I'm talking about in this world, it's going to be hard to start feeling, it's going to be hard to get into this enlightenment, peace, and joy. And y'all niggas talking about you go to work every fucking day. Hey, who you fooling, me or yourself? Who you fooling, me or yourself? Y'all motherfuckers telling me, well, yeah, my husband ain't shit, but we got kids together and he helped with the bills. But I'm trying to be spiritual. Who you fooling, me or yourself? Hey, I'm tired of y'all fucking playing the game how it ain't supposed to be played. It's not about a popularity contest, okay? It's not about what you think or what you feel, because that shit have you in shame, guilt, apathy. Apathy is where you just refuse to learn new shit because you know everything. Grief, fear, desire. Oh, you just want some shit. Oh, you ain't get what you want, now you mad. Oh, you just want some shit. You ain't get what you want, now you mad. You know how many motherfuckers play that game every fucking day, never raising their energy to enlightenment? This is what you face with. This is gonna be the hardest shit you ever had to face to find the love in your fucking heart. To find the joy within yourself, to find the peace within yourself, to tell the whole fucking planet and the world, everybody in the whole existence of the fucking universe to kiss your fucking ass when it comes to your fucking peace. Cause y'all some fucking people pleasers, okay? And then want to talk about you spiritual. How you spiritual and a people pleaser? Hey, sign up to my Patreon. Hey, smiles and giggles. Hey, look at my kids. Listen, kiss my ass. Kiss it. My peace, the joy within my heart, my ability to be on nature is my ability for everything that's happening in my life, because I'm not dealing with the illusion of y'all niggas being my fucking friends. What if I let y'all be my friends and then y'all decide, hood, your fucking farts stink too bad. You my enemy now. I can't take that. I can't take that risk in reference to my peace. Because the thing about me is that I love for real. I love you like I love myself. And when I'm talking to people, having this conscious awakening that I'm having, it's like, oh, these motherfuckers don't love themselves as much as I love them. I'm gonna need to not fuck with them. Or if I'm making you nervous, I ain't making you shit. You got that nervous energy within yourself, and you just gonna project that shit on me, cause I'ma definitely make you more nervous. What the fuck? Better be careful. Be careful is all I'm saying. Get your schema together. What is a schema? A schema is a schematic. It's a way that you interact with people. It's the way that you behave. And if you get negative results, that's the shit that you gotta change. You will be in a situation right now doing the same shit that you know you shouldn't be doing, creating the same energy that you know you shouldn't be creating, because you ain't did no different shit. You might have felt differently about it. You might have thought differently about it. You might have cried more tears about it. You might have really been more afraid about it, but you ain't do different shit. You ain't behave differently when it comes to situations and circumstances in your own fucking life. So now you got to deal with your own fucking results. Your results is directly related to your schematics, and there's no magic trick to that shit. There's no magic trick. There's no manifestation. There's no wishing on a fucking star. If you willing to walk the fucking walk and talk the fucking talk, you go and get the results. Cause that's enlightenment beyond your wildest dreams. When you begin to love yourself, you begin to suss out another motherfucker's bullshit. And let me tell you something. Most of the motherfuckers that you love and care for is on bullshit. But how important is your fucking peace? Because in this user illusion, people will distract you. People will be around you just to make you start second guessing some shit. If you feel good alone, it's not to say that you need to be alone and isolated, but every day you should make strives and abilities to satisfy your fucking peace. And nobody should say you can't get your peace daily, because that person is toxic. Because as you go in and get your peace, they should be going to get their peace. It's all about a schematic. It's all about a plan. It's all about a behavior. It's all about a set way of doing things to get a certain type of result. And this is going to open your door for channeling. This is going to open the door for accessing different types of energies. Because if you are serious about it and you get the energy imprint, then all you do is start to act in a certain type of way for which your guide is telling you what to do. I know it's gonna sound crazy, but if your guy tell you to fucking leave your job, motherfucker, you should leave your job. I know it's gonna sound crazy, but if your guy tell you to leave your apartment and move back in with your mama, guess what your ass gonna have to do? Move your prideful ass, your arrogant, prideful ass that's wasting your fucking money on rent. Wipe everything off the table and start the fuck over and go back on your mama couch. Cause who gives a fuck? You need the fucking money. You need the time. You need to fucking connect to your guides. But no, you wanna have your own space so you can fuck niggas on online dating on the low. And you really need to move back home with your mama if you really start to think about it. Cause all your own place is doing is giving you free reign to be a fucking prostitute. But the worst version of a prostitute, cause prostitutes make money. What do you gotta say for yourself? With your own apartment, $1,500 a month having ass, and you only making $2,000 a month. Your ass eating ramen noodles cause you got pride. It's 2022, your ass eating ramen noodles. It's 2022, your ass is getting payday loans and shit. Cause you prideful, okay? It's a different time. And it just depends. If you're trying to live for the world, man, if you trying to live for the world, goddamn, woo. But if you trying to live for your soul, if you trying to live for your cosmic reality, and you trying to walk the walk, talk the talk, have the schematic, and the schematic should be in reference to your peace, following your peace, because your guide is leading you to peace in your life, spiritual truth. We are at the climax of a spiritual energy, and the shit that y'all hold on to, the shit that y'all hold on to. My wife is probably asleep, but we let go of so much shit. We let go of a home. We let go of a life. We let go of everything because we are following our souls. We are following our path, and we leverage everything on ourselves for the future of our family. And when everything hit the fan, we had support. And now we are using that support to not look back when it comes to prosperity, when it comes to spiritual connection, when it comes to living in our spiritual truth. But if we was to hold on to that Ohio energy, hold on to our past, I know we wouldn't be here having the same story. Because once we moved to Detroit, everything changed for us. Everything changed. Like, when we let everything go, we didn't feel like we was losing. It's like when you live by your guide and your guide tell you to let everything go, you let that shit go. Because your guide is telling you to let that shit go. But for some reason, if you're not in the energy where you can perceive your guide, like, I'm saying all of this to say, I'm a spiritual adept. Not to brag, but that's how it worked for me, you know, being able to perceive and to know, like, to know that COVID was coming before COVID was coming. To just be like, we got our own fucking townhouse. Like, I got a fucking bird feeder, my own bird feeder. Like, it's cool. Like, we don't actually have to move or do nothing. But my guy said we need to get out of Ohio and we need to move back to Detroit and we need to downsize and we need to level the fuck down and hunker down and not give a fuck about the world and get our life together and get our health together. And I had to stop smoking nicotine and all types of shit. Like, all types of shit we had to let go because our guys told us to. So that's just a small anecdotal reality of working with your guides, following your guides, trusting your guides. But in the beta state where you have your constant thinking and your constant neurosis and psychosis and fears, listen to me and listen to me clear. You're going to have to let that shit go before you talk about heightened perception. Because you don't want to bring your neurosis and psychosis into the spiritual realm, because that's where you get all of these baby witches doing all of these hexes. And the reality is, these bitches is powerful. That's what nobody want to talk about. These bitches got real power, but they retarded. So they out in the ash. Like, if you see the reason that the world is the way that it is because y'all baby witches is out of fucking control, really. Y'all have no fucking emotional understanding for referencing the joy of your heart, right? Because y'all want to be spiritual on everything. Y'all want to be spiritual manifestors, spiritual in your home, spiritual there. But when it comes to your nigga, throw the spiritual shit away. And this nigga hurt me. This nigga is the reason why I feel a certain type of way. And then, oh, the spiritual shit is interesting. That's a lane for me. And y'all bring that energy in. And I tell y'all, that shit don't work. That hood rat spirituality shit, that don't work. That baby witch shit, it don't work. Even if it do work. What I'm saying is, if you was to learn something that you didn't know, you can't act like you know. That just make you a horrible student. The best students is the ones who don't know shit and coming in that bitch ready to learn. And what you ready to learn is what you ready to apply. So challenge yourself to feel great first. Feel great first. For no reason. First. And then we gonna talk more in the realms of channeling. Like I said, this was channeling 101. Next week we'll do channeling 102. Well, in a few days rather, and it will be a more of a concise build. I think I'm gonna do some writing for this one. I'm gonna transfer my notes into like more of a write out because this is interesting stuff, you know. And as I'm talking about it, I'm getting actual channels from energies, and it's like so amazing. But at the same time, it's just regular shit. So I'm hoping that for whoever's listening and whoever's tapping in, that you could begin to tap into energies too. Because you can do it. You just have to start feeling better about yourself. You need to start looking at yourself from a higher celestial view, right? This is what we going to start doing. We trying to help you view your own life in a higher, more spiritual way and not looking at reverse. So when it comes to tapping into anything, I'm talking about your ass can do it. Just you, regular hood rat ass bitch, don't matter. Motherfucking dusty, crusty hood ass nigga with some dirty ass Air Force Ones, it don't matter. Why would you buy Air Force Ones that's all white and then wear them every day? You a grown ass man. You got dirty Air Force Ones. In any other circumstance, I would not fuck with you. But when it comes to channeling deities, you might be a fucking expert. Okay? But you got to begin to love yourself, get into your heart, and I swear that's some difficult shit for y'all niggas, man. I swear, for y'all to actually find the love in y'all heart and really vibrate at a higher level and just love and compassion and open-heartedness and not living in fear energy, worried about what another motherfucker is thinking about you. Woo! But trust me, this is what I urge all of you, whoever's listening to this video live, if you're listening to it post live in the future, if you made it to this point, I guarantee you, money back guarantee, with every fiber in my heart, my soul reality, if you begin to look at your own life in a higher, more spiritual way, then you will begin to receive the results and benefits from it. So you're not looking at another person to channel energies. You'll start to realize that energies is channeling you all of the fucking time. However, are these subtle impressions important communications? That's what I want. That's what I want to end off. Is it important to you to just deal with the subtle reality, the subtle cosmic nature of the world, to just calm down, just listen? Can you do that? Peace.